You're watching a video series on schema stitching, and in this installment we're going to be talking about merging interfaces across subschemas. All of the code for this example is available in the Schema Stitching Handbooks repo. Alright, looking at the schema in this example, we've got two services. We've got the storefront service, and we've got the product service. And then over here we've got our combined gateway schema that would stitch these two together. So focusing first on the storefront service, we have a storefront. A storefront has a name, it has products, but these products are actually an interface for two different types that can represent a product. So we can have a basic product, and a basic product is just a foreign key reference pointing over to the product service where we get that type. Or it can be this thing called a product deal, which would be like a sale offering of a couple products offered together. They still have the same characteristics of a basic product. They've got a name, a price, and then in this case, they've got this collection of products which the deal represents. So this situation is really interesting because what we've got is an interface of fields that we want to offer that applies to types in different services. And so ideally what we would offer on this interface would be ID, name, and price together, seeing as how they're available here in the storefront service on product deal, and they're available over here in the product service. And over in the product service here, this works perfectly. So we can offer those three fields. Product offering is on this one type. It has those three fields. Great. However, coming over to the storefront service, if we were to offer that same interface, we've got an issue. While product deal fulfills that interface, the product type here does not. It only has a single field. So this actually constitutes a GraphQL error because we've got this type that implements an interface. However, it does not provide the full interface of fields. It's missing name and price. So to actually reconcile this and make this valid, we would need to go and remove these fields within the storefront service. And now this works. So we've got a product offering interface. It has a single field, which is now offered by all types with this interface in this service. However, is this what we want? We've got one single field here. We've got three fields over here. This is the full interface that we want to offer. So thanks to type merging, this actually works. Remember that interfaces are also going to merge in the gateway schema. So that is going to mean we get these three fields in our combined gateway schema because it is the aggregate of these two subservice interfaces. So now in our public schema, we can actually go and make this kind of selection for the fields that we want off of the product offering interface. You might notice there's some discrepancy between the gateway service and the subservice though. So I could make a selection up here in the gateway service, and it might not actually be applicable down in the subservice where the interface changes. So this is where some automations in our Stitch gateway come into play. Let's look at a live query to go and appreciate what's happening here. I'm going to start my gateway and then reload. And you can see I'm going to be making a selection here which goes and gets the interface of fields that we're requesting off of the interface in the gateway. And if we look at that subservice request, this is a request for the product offerings interface going to the subservices schema. And what it's done here is ID was the one field that could be selected off of that interface in that service. And then all of the other types have been expanded into fragments automatically, so that even though the interface doesn't match between the gateway schema and the subschema, the Stitch gateway can automatically translate what the selection wants to be going to the subservice. Once again, thank you for watching. All of the code for this example is in the Schema Stitching Handbook repo in the Type Merging Interfaces example. and I will post a link to that with this video. Until next time, thank you.